The Parrots of Chelm by Mira Singer. A long time ago, there was a village of fools called Chelm, where the most foolish of all were revered as wise men. Perhaps you live somewhere similar. One day, a travelling parrot salesman came to Chelm. He observed the village of fools and he thought, why, I could sell them anything. So he took up a prominent position in the marketplace, where his loud collection of parrots immediately drew attention. Once he had his crowd, he began his pitch. People of Chelm, do you ever have problems, questions, uncertainties? Are there jobs you'd rather not do? I have the answer! My magical parrots can do anything you want. The blacksmith raised her hand. Can they tell me a faster way to temple steel? Of course they can. A student raised his hand. Can they write my Torah? Of course they can. A wise man raised his hand. Can they tell us the will of the Holy One? They can do anything. The village fool hung to the back. That doesn't sound right. But nobody listened to her. The people of Chelm eagerly brought up the parrots until there were none left. Soon the entire village rang with their chatter. Anytime anyone had a moment of uncertainty, they would turn to their parrot. A husband wished to write a poem for his wife's birthday. Alas, he thought, I am no poet. So he asked his parrot to write one for him. The parrot had flown all over the world, and it repeated phrases from many different poems it had heard, although it did not understand them. But it sounded profound, and the husband wept, "Oh, you are a better poet than I," and he wrote the parroted lines down for his wife. A forager asked her parrot where to find good mushrooms to eat. The parrot took her to mushrooms in the nearby forest and said they were good to eat. "You are a better forager than I," she said, and she picked all the mushrooms the parrot had shown her. The wise men brought their parrots to Torah study and asked the birds to join the commentary. The parrots repeated commentary they'd heard from all over the world and from the villagers themselves. They sounded so confident that the wise men applauded. "You are better Torah scholars than us." But very soon, problems started. The wife who received the poem asked her husband how he came up with the ideas, and he admitted he asked his parrot. "Then you did not write it and you do not love me," she cried. "I do love you, I'm just a bad parrot." Poet. "I do love you, I'm just a bad poet. I had rather hear my husband's simple love in his own voice than these empty words from a beast. Either you think I do not love you for who you are, or you do not love me." And she shunted him out of the house and slammed the door. The forager brought the mushrooms home to sell, but very soon those who ate them became sick. "What have you done to us?" the villagers asked her. "It wasn't me, it was my parrot." "The more fool you! you trusting a parrot to tell you what mushrooms are good to eat? I bet parrots don't even eat mushrooms. And they stopped buying from her at all. The study hall of the Torah scholars was soon filled with the voices of parrots, so loud that they drowned out the wise men. Many were driven away by the din. Before long, the room was only parrots squawking back and forth, endlessly repeating each other's copied sounds. And that's not all. The blacksmith did ask a parrot for a faster way to temper steel and did what the parrot said, but the steel melted and she had to start over. The student used his parrot for all his studies, but when it came for time for his bar mitzvah, he did not know how to read the Torah. The wise men asked their parrots to tell them the will of the Holy One, and the parrots told them to break the commandments. Soon every job was being done by parrots, so every job was being done badly, and no one had any work, and the village began to fall apart by pieces. Occasionally a parrot would give a correct answer to a query, but only because it had heard and repeated the right answer by chance. The parrots couldn't tell the difference, so they were wrong as often as they were right, and the villagers forgot how to check except by asking the parrots. Some started treating their parrots like a human, dressing it in human clothes, and a few even tried to marry their parrot. Eventually, everyone stayed in their homes all day talking to their parrots, and no one talked to each other until each believed that everyone else hated them and that they alone were the most important person in the village. When everyone stopped going to temple services, leaving the rabbi with no minyan and no congregants at all, the wise men of Chelm finally decided something must be done. They asked their parrots how to fix all the woes of Chelm. The parrots had heard so many apologies around the world, and they repeated the words of apology without understanding them. At first, the wise men were pacified. Only the fool of Chelm noticed that nothing had changed. She went to the wise men. Have you noticed that our village is falling apart? That our community has broken down? Yes, we have, said the wise men, but we asked the parrots to fix it. And have they? Asked the fool. Well, they say they have, so they must have. The fool gestured to the village. Look around you. Does anything seem better? They looked around and muttered to each other. Why should we listen to you, they said. You are a fool. Then don't listen to me. Let us seek the salesman. The wise men agreed and went out to seek the salesman and confronted him. Your parrots are broken, they told him. You said they could do anything, but they are getting everything wrong. We have more problems now than we did when you first came here. Can you fix them? What problems? Isn't everything better now? No one has to work or think or know anything. The parrots will do it all. But we are unhappy, and the parrots are doing it all wrong. Don't worry, I will fix them. And he got the parrots to say they were sorry. They said that before, and nothing changed, said the fool. You said the parrots can do anything, yes? In that case, that would mean they could lie? The salesman laughed. They They don't lie, they can't. They don't know true from false, right from wrong. They just grant what you want. Too late. He realised his mistake. So, when you said the parrots can do anything we want, you mean they will say anything we want to hear? Asked the fool. The wise men discussed with each other and found that they could not fault the fool's logic. They turned to the rabbi and asked him what to do. The rabbi sighed. There is nothing else for it. The parrots have to go. What should be their punishment? The wise men asked each other. They discussed it and decided that the gravity of the offence demanded that the parrots be dropped off a cliff. So the villagers of Chelm rounded up all the parrots in a big sack, and they took the sack to the nearest cliff face. They opened the sack and dumped the parrots over the cliffside, but the birds spread their wings and flew away. Still, they were gone. And the villagers of Chelm rejoiced and went home. The husband told his wife that he loved her in simple terms, and she let him back in. The forager used her knowledge to sell mushrooms that were not poisonous, and her customers came back. The wise men returned to Torah study. The blacksmith hired an assistant, the student applied himself to his studies, and the wise men resumed following the commandments. There were still problems, but the parrots were no longer one of them. And what became of the parrots? They never returned to Chelm. They flew far away around the world, all the way to here. Perhaps you've encountered them. And the salesman? He's still trying to sell parrots that can do anything. And he's never short for fools who believe him.